Hello, my friends. Happy Friday Eve day to everybody. Let me check my tech really fast and make sure we are live in my group as I intended. Yes, I see us live in the group. Awesome. We've got Facebook and YouTube both right here coming to us through StreamYard. YouTubers, I want you to smash the subscribe button so you never miss one of my live weekly trainings. And Facebookers, if you have not gone to streamyard.com/Facebook and given permission for us to see your name as it appears on Facebook, then please do that really quickly. You only have to do it one time per device that you're using. But Michelle and I would love to see your actual name in the comments when we go and look at the Q&A section at the end. All right, today, I know a lot of you have already messaged me or emailed me already this week. When I sent out the announcement about Michelle coming as our guest expert and the topic, you guys are excited about this, and I am too. We are all things list growth at Tracy Beavers Coaching. You guys know that. I love teaching you strategies for you to get visibility for your business and grow your email list. And today we are doing that using bundles and summits. Michelle Pontvert is a guest expert, and I cannot wait for you to hear from her. And I think I just butchered your last name, Michelle. How do you pronounce it?
If you want to sound French about it, it's Pontvert, but Pontvert is fine.
Yeah? Okay, I'm going to try that. That makes me
It's
sound
a
very fancy.
it's very fancy. It's my married name too, so I had to take some time to get used to it.
I love it. That's amazing. All right, but just in case this is the first time you guys and I have ever met, I am Tracy Beavers. I am your business and sales coach with over 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business growth. I have helped hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you get visible, grow your audience so you can grow that email list and get that stable, consistent monthly income that we all want in the online entrepreneurial space. Pop your questions and comments into the chat for us as we go along. You know, I'm happy to answer anything about your business. I know Michelle will be happy to answer any questions you have for her, but let me introduce her really quickly. She is a life first business strategist and educator. She's obsessed with helping passionate entrepreneurs like us with limited capacity. That sounds familiar. Build businesses that truly support their unique life, their circumstances, and their goals. I love that because it sounds like you help people build a business that they love and that's by their own design. And you guys, she also runs the Business Chic Shop. Say that 5 times fast. She is co-host of the Marketing Like a Mother podcast, love that name, and co-owner of the Like a Mother movement, a hands-on mom and a lifelong Aussie expat now living in France. Michelle, welcome. We are so glad you're here to share your expertise and experience with us. Is there anything you want to add?
I think you did a great job. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And Bundles and Summits is like my obsession of the last 2 years. So I'm so excited to be talking about it and geeking out about something that's been just hugely impactful on my business.
I cannot wait to hear all about your experience and the best practices for tackling things like this. So tell us, how does participating in things like summits and bundles help grow the email list?
Yeah, so bundles are really where we're selling a group of different products for all different people with one price tag. So basically, you collect a bunch of different products and they're sold for a really, really good deal. And the benefit of being a contributor in that one of those people, one of those products, is that your offer gets in front of a list of way more people than you normally do.
Okay.
And you're technically kind of giving it away for free,
Uh-huh.
but people are so excited to sign up because there's usually a limited time where they can get access to your course for free or
Got it.
product. So it's a really, really incentivizing way for people to get a taste of what you do and
Uh-huh.
get really excited to work with you on a longer term basis or buy some of your other products. So I found that's really, really great, particularly if you do have kind of that digital product type of business. On
Got
the
it.
other hand, summits are an opportunity where we are brought together to speak as a sort of small collective of people on a specific topic and
Mhm.
really stand out as experts on that particular field.
Got
And
it.
that's really great to position us, yes, to get people on our list, but
Mhm.
also the people who end up on our list are really, really aware of what it is we do, really excited about our perspective, and they convert super well into some of your paid offers as well. So there's sort of two different strategies, but they work really beautifully hand in hand, particularly if you have a business that does have some products and courses, and some higher ticket, more in-depth things as well.
Got it. So for people who are not familiar with what we're talking about,
Mm,
I want to go back for a second. So
yeah.
if I'm understanding correctly, and these are the bundles that I have participated in the past, where the bundle organizer gathers together 20, 30, or more online entrepreneurs like you and me who have
Mhm,
offers. And like, let's say, for example, I think there was a bundle I was in called Getting Your Business Started or something like that.
mm,
And everybody was contributing things that would help an online entrepreneur get started.
yeah.
And so I contributed my visibility bundle, which I charged $37 for, but I made it free in this bundle. And then the way it grows your email list is all of the participants in the bundle commit to representing the bundle as kind of like as affiliates and
Mhm,
promoting it on their social media and on their email list. So in essence, what we end up doing is if collectively there's 20 of us in this bundle and we each have a list of 2,000 people, let's say, we're collectively emailing out to 40,000 people.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really great way to be kind of able to be in front of, yes, the person who's organizing the bundle or the summit's audience, but as you say, get in front of all of the other contributors, all of the other people's audiences. And
Awesome.
it's sort of like the perfect version of a collaborative event because, yes, one person is sort of the host, but
Yes.
we're all pulling in to get the word out, to share about this
Mhm.
amazing offer that part of it is our offer that we put in there for free, but the bundle itself as an offer. And
Right.
that is a really nice way to get in front of that different group of people, but also position yourself as, someone who is putting your stuff out there at a really reasonable price alongside other experts. It kind of elevates your brand to stand
Right.
alongside those other collaborators as well.
Right. And then the summits work in a very similar way in terms of
Mm,
everybody coming together that's a part of the summit is
yeah.
committing to emailing their list, promoting on social. So you're getting that, like you said, collaboration, that collective audience that we might not have otherwise met. Okay,
Hmm.
awesome. That's awesome. So how do you know when because I, just through my experience in the last few years, I can
Yeah.
now see a summit that's going to be valuable for me and my audience and versus one that may not be, or a
Yeah.
bundle that might be worth participating in over another particular bundle. What is your barometer when it comes to deciding you asked to be in a bundle or you're asked to be part of a summit? How do you gauge whether or not this is going to be worth your time? Because it does take time. And then also
Hmm.
you're promoting this to your audience. So
Yeah.
it's kind of your credibility is on the line as well.
Definitely. And in sort of conjunction with that, if there are requirements for promotion, it takes up your content calendar as well.
Yes.
So it's really a big investment of your sort of business resources to take part in these events.
Right.
Um, it is a sort of internal process. We do need to find our own gauges, but personally, I really like to look at sort of two main pieces when I'm evaluating if one of these events is a good fit for me.
Mhm.
It's, is it a good match in terms of the audience? Are the people who are going to be signing up for that bundle or attending that event the right people? Are they the kind of audience I want to work with? And are they the kind of people who are going to be ready for the kinds of offers I'm selling? And that's usually something you can tell from the host, who it is that's putting that together, getting
Right.
a sense of who their audience are.
Mhm.
And then the topic, the other speakers, you can get some clues as you look into these events of what sort of people are going to be participating in it alongside you and what sort of audiences they have.
Okay.
And then the other piece of that puzzle is sort of what do you bring to the table? Is this something you feel like you can be a really good asset to that collaboration? I
Mhm.
like to think of it as kind of a fair exchange. So I wouldn't want to put myself forward into a bundle that, yes, maybe my offer could sort of jam into that topic, but
Right.
isn't really what I end up selling. It's not what I mostly talk about. It's not going to be helpful for those people to
Right.
be on my list. And it's really important to kind of hold back some of the enthusiasm, the excitement, and make sure it's a really fair match that you are representing your brand appropriately to the people who are participating in. the events, but also the people who are signing up for the events or attending the summit, because you want to be using this as a lead generation tool. It's like
Right.
the first impression. So you want to make sure it's just a really good pairing between who like the event is for and what it is we're actually putting out there, and making sure that's a really good match.
Got it. Have you ever had to turn down a few that you didn't think were a
Yes,
good match?
more and more and more, because I don't love sort of committing to too many at the same time, although I sometimes do when they're too good to say no to.
Oh,
Um,
also,
it's hard,
it
but
is.
I do find more and more I'm getting pitched for events, and a lot of times, even if they're probably a very big audience, if it's a very vague topic that the event is about or the bundle is too broad, I find it's less useful for me. I'd much rather be part of a smaller event that's really focused on something I want to be talking about, that I have direct offers for.
Okay.
So, for example, I just took part in an event that had like 150 different collaborators in that bundle,
Yeah.
and I maybe got like 60, 70 people on my list from that,
Okay.
which is good. But
Right.
I took part in a much smaller event that was super, super niche down, and I got like 200 people from that who are primed and perfect for the offers I have. So
Okay.
just because the audience seems smaller, if that fit is right, you can get far better and usually more of the right fit people on your list. So the
Interesting.
numbers can be a bit deceiving.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that is such a great point. I'm so glad you said that. So we don't need to be looking at um, it's kind of like when somebody is saying, "Oh, well, I have 10,000 followers on Instagram,"
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Well, that's great," but I'm thinking to myself, if all of those 10,000 people aren't really dialed into what you're doing,
It's
that's
not worth it.
that's not really serving you. Yeah, or somebody who
Yeah.
has 10,000 people on their email list, how dialed in is your list? You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, I love that. That's so, so helpful. So,
Yeah.
um, how can you set yourself up to get the most to not only contribute the most and
Mm.
bring good value to the event, but also for us to get the most out of the experience, the most email list growth, the most
Mm.
visibility?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can put in as much as you want, and often you get more out of it the more you put in. So if you are really eager to make the most of an event, let's say it is your perfect match audience and you feel really aligned with the topic and they're going to be your perfect people, that's a really good opportunity to do some extra promotion, maybe add in some additional sort of engagement in, say, they have a group as part of that event, really being active in that group and getting yourself known. I've even seen people who host their own like redemption parties for the bundles to really encourage their audience to take advantage of that event.
Mhm.
But I'm going to say this with like an asterisk. I'm really all about like a sustainable approach, and it can be really overwhelming if you are participating in a decent number of events to show up at 10, 100% for all of them.
Right.
So I really try and pick out 3 maybe during the year that I'm going to go all in on, and I get really excited, I promote them really actively, I talk about them a lot, I'm really much more engaged in the group,
Mhm.
and I usually see pretty good results from that because I am so enthusiastic.
Right.
While some of the others, I just want to make sure it's a fair exchange, that, maybe I'm one of 30 people and I'm not like the big name on that list,
Mhm.
and it's maybe not one of the events I'm the most excited about. I'll still do my part. I'll still promote and share and be present in the group, but I won't give all of my energy because I know I need to preserve that. It's a finite resource. I need to preserve that for the events that are going to really make a huge difference and really be kind of an iconic part of my calendar's sort of content calendar of how much I want to dedicate to it. So
Right.
yes, go in all in, but I encourage you to be thoughtful about where you're putting that energy, because
Mhm.
ultimately it is kind of a numbers game. You can be part of one event and it can go really well, but I
Mhm.
think the benefit is to keep showing up as a visibility sort of strategy in multiple events throughout the year, become kind of known as a speaker if you're doing summits, or become known as a digital product owner by
Mhm.
being in multiple bundles, and then kind of having your spotlight ones that you really love to feature throughout the year.
Yeah, that's great advice. I love what you said about visibility because, I'm all
Mm.
about people getting visibility organically through things
Mm,
like these collaborations.
yeah.
And one thing that you mentioned that I picked up on was you mentioned a lot of times with these bundles and summits, and I know I've seen this as well. The organizer will set up a dedicated Facebook group for that
Hmm.
particular bundle or summit, and I have gained a ton of visibility just by
Mm.
being present in those groups during the time of the bundle and summit. And so from what I'm understanding, you have as well.
Yes, definitely. And particularly if I think the summits in particular, because people get to hear your voice, they're
Mhm.
really engaged in what you're saying, and it kind of gives you an opportunity to start the conversation before your summit sort of presentation, keep that conversation going, and really build up rapport. I
Mhm.
find that the groups for those kind of events are just so engaged and lovely, and a really great way to build up some of that like recognition. It's a getting to know you event.
Right.
I think of it sort of like networking at scale.
Right.
And
Right.
then a bundle, there will be potentially a group there, but I think that's sort of a way to provide more opportunities to get people signed up for your product, make sure they're feeling like it's a really good fit, answer questions, being almost the customer support before people have had any problems. And
Right.
both work really well, but I think particularly for summits, engaging in those groups is just such a value add for you as well as a contributor because it is extra visibility.
It is. And
Mm.
oh, what was I going to say? Oh, it's a what I know what I was going to say. It's a byproduct of being in a bundle and a summit that potentially could grow your list even more
Yeah.
that I don't think we always think about. It's kind of like a couple of weeks ago, I did a training on, you know, what are some unexpected benefits of attending boot camps and workshops and
Mm.
master classes and challenges. And one of the byproducts is visibility by being visible in the event. So I love what you're saying about that. I think
Yeah.
it's so true.
Yeah, I think particularly if you sort of cycle in the same circles, if you are being part of events that have kind of an overlap of audiences, people will see you sort of showing up multiple times. And I've had many people point out in a current summit and ask about something I'd done a couple months ago, or say, "Oh, it's so nice to see you. I watched your presentation from that other thing." And you
Nice.
become kind of a household name in those circles by just repeatedly being visible. And it's, I find, much more sustainable because it's a short sort of burst of time. So it's something you have to keep doing day in, day out. So I appreciate that part.
Yeah, yeah, that's really fun when you do
Mm,
start to get recognized. That happens
mm,
to me as well,
yeah.
because the online entrepreneurial space feels enormous, but it's a smaller space than we think, and
Yeah.
we all tend to kind of run in the same circles, like you're saying. And so,
Yeah.
over time, that's what I teach my clients and students that it may feel like you're not gaining traction, but the more you do this, the more groups that you're in, the more active you are. It's
Mm,
kind of like when I was back in corporate and I had to build my own portfolio or gain market share for a
mm,
company. And just starting out, it felt like meeting with one person after the next in networking in
mm,
person didn't feel like it gained a lot of traction. But over time, over the 10 years that I was in this particular market, I have
mm.
a massive network locally because
Mhm.
of all the people that I met. And so it's kind of the same thing that you and I are talking about. It's just in
Yeah.
the online space. So the more you're
Mhm.
moving in these circles and you're networking in them, the more you get to be known. I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's really just bringing the kind of more conference style things we might be used to in a corporate setting just online. And a lot of those same principles apply that,
Yeah,
yes, there's the events where you hear people talk, but most of the value is the mixes, is the like conversations, and those happen in those communities, in those groups. So I feel
exactly.
like it translates really easily.
I think it does too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's one problem that I would love to hear your take on. It's something I
Mm,
hear from my audience often.
yeah.
And they ask me about it because they know that I'm in bundles. They know that I'm a summit speaker. I'm in Collaboration Station, which is a great place
Mhm.
to find bundles and summits opportunities and podcast guest spots and things like that. What I hear from them is, Tracy, I'm afraid I'm going to waste my time because their experience has been that they participate in this. They may gain several hundred people to their email list, but within 30 to 45 days, like let's say they gain 300 people to their email list during that bundle or summit promotion time.
Mhm.
Well, within 30 to 45 days, they're seeing, 150 of those people are gone from their list.
Yeah,
They've unsubscribed. Now, you and I both know, well, okay, they still gained 150 people, right?
that's still great. Yeah,
But it's
and those
still very
yeah.
deflating sometimes. So tell us what's your take on that? And how do
Yeah.
you overcome that and keep more people on your list?
Yeah, I don't believe in, like, holding people hostage on our lists. We invite them in, and they can come and go as they please, and I think particularly in these kinds of events, there is this kind of rush of urgency to sign up for everything when you do partake in a bundle as a, like, participant,
Mhm.
or as a buyer. You want to sign up for all the things, you don't wanna miss out, there's a lot of FOMO,
Right.
and eventually you can get a bit overwhelmed and you unsubscribe to protect your own boundaries. I
Mhm.
think that's completely fair. What
Absolutely.
I do think is valuable is, yes, you keep those, like, 150 people in your example, but even the other however many that was, I'm not good enough at maths to figure that out, however many who have left
Uh-huh.
are one step closer to knowing you. Like, they have signed up for something you created, they potentially consumed some of it, they've seen your sales page, maybe your website.
Yeah.
There is a sense of brand recognition built in, even if they haven't stayed on your list, even if they haven't consumed the thing you created,
Mhm.
they still know who you are.
That's
And
ex
if you do this on a cycle, keep coming back and doing these events, they may, or very likely, to sign up for something else and then stay on the second time or the third time or the fourth time. I can't say how many times that's happened to me where someone unsubscribed from the first bundle I was part of, but the fifth they stuck around and they've been fans for years now. And it is just a sense of familiarity that you're building as well.
Got it. Okay, that is an absolutely outstanding point. I want everybody to listen to what Michelle said. She said that they may not stay the first time, but if you stay patient and consistent and you keep doing the collaborations and the bundles and the summits, that they will continue to get to know you and deepen that
Mhm.
know, like, and trust factor, which we all know is key to sales, and then be closer to staying on your list.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
absolutely outstanding point. Is there anything else you can think of that that would help? I think one of the things you said that
Mm,
about it's better to be part of a bundle or a summit that's very dialed into what you do.
mm.
Is that also part of when people join your list through that event because it is dialed in? They're more likely to stay with you. Do you think?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I've found the retention rate on those type of events is just much higher by nature because they are much more focused on what you have to offer,
Got it.
and they're much more likely to buy your other things because it is so honed in on what it is you do or sell. Um, I will say I kind of have an extra point I'd love to share that
Yes,
I
please.
think one of the other things I think a lot of people get hung up on with participating in bundles in particular is giving your paid products away for free and
Yes.
worrying that that somehow deteriorates the value of the people who paid or makes it somehow feel weird when you ask for people to pay for something else.
Right.
And I think something really helpful is to not put all your eggs in one basket. If you have one signature course that
Uh-huh.
is a maybe medium or even higher ticket offer that is
Mhm.
not a good fit for a bundle,
Right.
you almost need to create a kind of tier within your offer suite or within your sort of offer ecosystem that is comfortable for you to give, almost like a paid lead magnet that you are giving away for free this time. And you may have, perfectly aligned offers that you can upsell from that offer that you put into side bundles, but
Mhm.
mentally just giving yourself that leeway that this is a lead magnet, this is a freebie that sometimes people may buy from me,
Mhm.
versus it being a product that I expect money for that I'm allowing people to get for free. I feel like
Right.
just that little shift makes it feel so much more generous
Mhm.
and open when you participate in these events, rather than kind of closed off and feeling protective and scared of giving away your paid things for free.
Got it. Got it. No, that's an excellent point. Let me jump over really fast
Mm,
into the comments and the questions and just see. I think
yeah.
we do have some questions coming in. Okay, Michael's here. He said,
Mm.
create your own summit, or is it better to be a guest on somebody else's, or both?
I think probably both long term, but I highly recommend participating in other people's events before you host your own.
Yes.
It is no joke to put on a big event like a summit or a bundle.
Mhm.
My business partner for my second business and I put on a bundle, and it took us 3 months to put it together.
Wow.
It's not small as a
Right.
commitment. It's worth it, but it's very hard.
Right.
So I think it's really good to kind of take the training wheels off slowly, go and see what it's like to be part of these events. Try
Mhm.
it on, see if you like it, see what you like about it.
Mhm.
And then it's sort of also building that visibility, that credibility by being part of these events, that down the line, when you're ready to take on that kind of commitment and you know what it is you like,
Right.
it's less of a risk to actually invest the energy, time, money, resources into putting one on yourself. So I
Yeah.
think both for sure, but I definitely say like be part of other people's first and
Sure.
then do yours after.
I think that's really smart advice because the same goes for affiliate marketing.
Hmm.
I recently decided to add affiliates to my Business Visibility Made Easy program that's relaunching in October. But made sure that I had been an affiliate
Yeah.
in other people's programs because it helped me see, what do I like? What do I not
Yeah.
like? Oh, I like the way they organized that. Or, oh, I didn't think about that. That's really valuable. It
Hmm.
also showed me how either simple or how fancy something could be. So
Yeah.
I participate because there's some really fancy bundle things out there, and there's some really
Hmm.
summits out there, and then there's some that are more simple. So I think
Yeah.
that's really solid advice. Uh, he also asked if there is an ideal length of time for a summit. I think that's a great
Mm. Yeah, I think I've only ever been part of summits that are between like 3 and 7 days, and
question.
I found the shorter ones are usually better because
Right,
it's again this hyper focus. But I would be careful as you're evaluating if that summit is a good fit for you. If it's short because it's highly curated and highly niched down, or
right.
if it's short because they haven't got a big enough pool of people to pull from. And
Ah,
it's sometimes kind of hard to tell the difference, but
uh-huh.
that's where doing a little bit of research, putting a detective hat on, and looking into who that host is, if they've shared who any of the other speakers are, looking into who those people are, just to make sure that it's not short because they don't have the reach yet.
Got it.
Because
Okay.
that is kind not a red flag, but it's like a pink flag, just to be careful
Right.
that that's not putting all your eggs in that basket.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Oh, I think that's really great advice. I was listening to a training yesterday or the day before, and the gal was talking about the research now is showing, and this is probably not, you know, rocket science. I think it's something everybody would probably go, yeah, that sounds about right, because our
Mm,
attention spans are so short now.
yeah.
If they're even shorter because of TikTok, but we really want quick wins and quick hits.
Hmm.
So that 3 to 5 day is really kind of the sweet spot. But a
Yeah.
7 day to me would feel like an eternity.
And
Yeah.
it's a lot to ask for as a participant if you are collaborating. That's a lot of promotion, that's a lot of energy to maintain. And I've only been part of one and it exhausted me to no pieces. So I definitely think 3 to 5 days is usually the sweet spot. But if it's done the right way, I think most things can work. It's just being really confident that it's a good fit for you and your expectations are aligned with
Got it.
what it is they're promising.
Got it. Okay. And one more
Mhm.
question. Is there a good
Mm.
strategy for when you do summits in relation to launching courses and
Mm.
memberships? Like, I guess,
That
are
is a
you doing a launch
great
for it?
question. Yeah. So I think it's a really good opportunity you can seize if you want to, if you can. I don't think it's a requirement. Like, I would definitely not say you have to launch something off the back of every event you're part of,
Mhm.
particularly if this is a strategy you're really going, big on. You'll have too many commitments, you'll be launching all the time. But it's a nice opportunity if you have found some of those landmark, the spotlight events that you really want to go big on,
Mhm.
timing that around your launches. If there's something that kind of fits in the theme of the summit or the bundle, that's really good too.
Right.
It can be a really nice way to keep that momentum going, but by no means is it an expectation. By no means is it like mandatory. But I would say if you find you've got that like happenstance things line up really well, it is a great way to do that. And it can be a nice way to quickly get some, conversions. I
Mhm.
like to say don't treat those, new people from your summit and bundle list any differently than the rest of your audience. So if you keep them normally in a nurture sequence, keep them in the nurture sequence. If you normally pop them straight into a newsletter, pop them straight into the newsletter. Give them the same treatment as you give everybody else, and give them the opportunity to buy your other things. They don't need to be, left on ice for a couple weeks to calm down, and then you can pitch to them. You can treat them just like the rest of your audience.
Got it. Love it. That is amazing. Michelle, thank you so much for being here with us. Tell everybody where they can find you to connect with you if they want to learn more from you about bundles and summits.
Yeah, so I'm the only Michelle Pontvert out there, so I'm really easy to find. You can find me on my website, which is michellepontvert.com, Michelle
Mhm.
Pontvert on Facebook and Instagram. And I have a joint business with my business bestie, and we have a membership that I would love to plug because it seems perfect if you're interested in bundles and summits. We're called the Shiny Squirrel Chasers Club, and we love to chase shiny squirrels. We're full of multi-passionate entrepreneurs. I've actually done a feature spot recently on participating in bundles and summits. So if you'd like to go deeper or have some hand holding, kind of chasing those ideas, I definitely encourage you to check that out too.
Awesome. And I know you have something special you wanted to share with everybody here
Yeah.
as your thank you or as a special treat for them. Tell us what it is.
Yeah, so I have a private podcast series that really walks you through my business approach, which is the life first business that you build entirely around your life, your circumstances, your schedule, your complicated situations at home, or with your health or mental health. And I walk you through that in a 4-part podcast series that's really easy to listen to on the go. And I really just invite you, if you are finding doing business the normal way tough, this is an alternative to do it more at your own pace, in your own way, in a way that fits you as a human being. So I'd love to invite you to check that out.
Love that. And I know my assistant Jill has the link to that. She's going to pop that into the comments for everybody to grab that private podcast. And you guys, I've got something fun I want to share with you too. You guys know that you know what Amy Porterfield's programs have done for my business. And I've been sharing with everybody over the past few weeks about her Course Confident Bootcamp. Well, the doors to the boot camp have closed. But the good news is that if you missed your chance to grab a spot in the boot camp, she's doing a live masterclass that you can attend, and there's several dates and times. It's going to be phenomenal. It's called Your Low Stress Start to Finish Digital Course Launch in 5 Streamlined Steps. How to build and launch a profitable digital course without a big team, without a big budget, without the constant overwhelm of what do I do next? I know I felt that. We've all been there. And she's all about fun bonuses. She's got a fun bonus for you when you show up live with her. It's called your Course Ready Audience Toolkit. It's a fill in the blank template for sharing your course focused lead magnet all over the place on emails, social, your website, everything. I am a proud partner affiliate for this masterclass. So grab your seat using my unique link. It is tracybeavers.biz/Amy Masterclass. And I know Jill's going to pop that into the chat as well. Let me check one more time and just make sure we answered all the questions. Michelle, I think we did. Those were some excellent questions that came in today. Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we go?
I would just say give it a go. If you're even a little bit curious about participating in a bundle and summit, again, you don't have to go big, you don't have to do anything too scary, but it is such a great way to start collaborating and start exploring being in front of other people's audiences. I think it is a really approachable way to handle this list building thing, especially if you're an introvert or you have a lot of stuff on. They really do fit in nicely around everything else. So I highly encourage you to just give it a try.
Love it. All right, my friends, be here with me live every Thursday at 11:30 Central. It'll either be me bringing you a great training or another fabulous guest expert like Michelle. Or as you know, we have once a month our entrepreneurial inspiration interview where I interview one of our awesome Facebook group members about their entrepreneurial journey. And if you're interested in doing that, send me a DM or email me because I need people to come in and do that in, I believe it's October and November. So share these trainings with your Facebook group, your business besties, your accountability podmates, and let's all help one another. And you know, I say this every single week, don't go it alone. Being an entrepreneur is really hard. Some days everybody wants to buy what you're selling, and other days nobody can remember your name. And if you think you're alone feeling that way, you are not. I want you guys to have a great balance of the week and weekend. And remember, when one of us rises, we all rise. So we have to keep cheering each other on.